It's that time of the year to look back at what great movies came out this year, what sucky movies came out this year, and what we completely forgot came out this year. Welcome back to my channel, and I figured as we near the end of 2024, why not rank the top 10 worst movies of 2024? I don't want to say that majority of my list is based off of like what movies kind of disappointed me in a way, but some of those films did disappoint. Doesn't mean that they are completely bad. I did leave out a couple of horror films because we know that every single year we always get terrible horror films, which I feel like don't even deserve a spot, you know? That's how bad they are. This year, I feel like I did watch a lot of movies. There was like a gap where like I was going through it. So like I had to take some time off mentally. And so I didn't go to the movies, you know? So I missed out on a couple of films this year. I did end up catching them a little bit later on. Either they were streaming or on Blu-ray, whatever the case may be. Disclaimer, I did not watch every single movie that was released. I wish I could, that'd be amazing, but unfortunately, I didn't. So let's get started. I feel like people are gonna dislike me right now. So at number 10, we do have Gladiator II. It's not a terrible movie. There are worse movies out there, but it was just very dull, disappointing. I feel like its only redeeming quality really was Denzel Washington. I feel like Ridley Scott was like, you know what? Let's just throw sharks in there and call it a day. I also felt like Paul Mescal just felt like a little overwhelmed. I feel like the movie was too big for him. That sounds kind of messed up, but I had never seen him in other films. I know he was in like smaller films, and I feel like this was a little bit out of his comfort zone. I feel like Gladiator II definitely hurt the original masterpiece more than it helped, and unfortunately, it kind of tarnished that Gladiator name. At least it didn't completely tank at the box office. At number 9, we have Kraven, another Spider-Man-less entry to the Spider-Man universe. When will it stop? At number 8, we do have Joker 2. As a Lady Gaga fan, I loved it. As a Joker fan, I was kind of meh about it. I don't necessarily think that it deserves all the hate that it gets. I can acknowledge the fact that they definitely fumbled this sequel, especially because, like, first of all, they told us we weren't going to get a sequel. They're like, Joker is a standalone movie. No sequels will be coming. And then they give us a sequel, let alone a musical sequel. I don't know. The genre mix-up, I love musicals, but the genre mix-up was just like, that's not the demographic. I knew it was going to be bad. I feel like just like Gladiator, it kind of tarnished the original Joker. At number 7, we do have Mean Girls, the musical. Or how about Mean Girls, we're not going to tell you that it's a musical until you show up. I still can't believe none of the trailers had musical numbers in them. I still can't believe that. I feel like none of the actors really matched any of the performances of its predecessors. And I love musicals, but even though this movie I know is based off of the musical and not the 2004 film, I feel like they would have been better off remaking the 2004 film. A lot of people were expecting to go in there and get basically the exact same thing that the 2004 film was. And I feel like this one tried a little too hard and unfortunately dated itself with a lot of references. And it just didn't land the mark. At number 6, we have Trap. It's not M. Night Shyamalan's worst movie, but it's not his best. I feel like the trailer was so intense and like made me super hyped for this film. Once I started watching the movie, I feel like it kind of lost its steam with every single twist and turn that kept coming. And it just ended up, you know, feeling so repetitive. And I feel like it kind of dragged on a little too long. And at number 5, we have Argyle. Speaking of movies that drag on too long, I love the action, I love the cast, I love the absurdity. I feel like the film tried to get too creative for its own good in a way, like, and not a good kind of creative. And I feel like the runtime did not help. Literally towards the end, I was just like, I actually don't even care anymore who Argyle is. I just want to go home. I know that's terrible to say, but like that was exactly what I was feeling. At number 4, we have RedOne. I mean, we should have known. The Rock and Chris Evans in a Christmas action movie? Yeah, no. It's a very bland streaming Christmas movie. I think it tried to fit too many demographics so it can be like a staple in like people's Christmas watching. I feel like the film was a bit forgettable. I think it definitely should have just gone to streaming. I know it made money. And that's awesome. Because, I mean, I even saw it in theaters. But did it need to go to theaters? That's the real question. Do I plan on rewatching it next Christmas season? Probably not. At number 3, we have Borderlands. I'm pretty sure this one's on everybody's worst list of 2024. I don't play Borderlands, so this was like my first introduction. And this is proof that not all video game adaptations will be successful. I feel like Borderlands was like, oh my goodness, Super Mario Bros. Did amazing. But, you know, they're not the same things. How are you gonna like compare apples and oranges? Just a bad video game film adaptation, but just a bad movie overall. At number 2, we have Madam Webb. So I really enjoyed Dakota Johnson. But you knew as soon as she started talking bad about the movie, she was like, you know what? I am not going down with this sinking ship. And that was an automatic red flag. And don't even get me started on Aunt May and Uncle Ben in this film. Yeah, Madam Webb hardly gave us anything. I even forgot that this film came out this year. And for the number 1 worst movie of 2024, we have The Crow. I don't know who had the idea of like, hey, let's remake a cult classic that nobody asked to be remade. I love Bill Skarsgård, so I feel like Bill Skarsgård is like a great actor to play such a great character. But the movie, I mean, I know they said it's not a remake and it's a, an adaptation. The movie was dark, the movie was boring, and literally the only reason I watched the film was to see Bill Skarsgård with tattoos. Hollywood just needs to learn that not everything needs to be remade. Well, those are my top 10 worst movies of 2024. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some of your worst movies of 2024? Share them in the comment section below because I know there's a lot that I haven't seen and I'm sure maybe you haven't seen any of the ones I mentioned. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and I'll catch you guys next time.